One of the places that we focused a lot of attention is on complex drugs. You saw the recent approval of the generic EpiPen. We're going to be putting out some additional guidance to try to create pathways for complex drugs to come to market. We're also going to be addressing competition within the generic drug market. It's not just generic drugs to compete with branded drugs, but competition between generic firms. So one of the things we do is we disclose on our website what we call paragraph 4 certifications, when generic companies come and try to bust patents, basically, and we disclose when generic companies file paragraph 4 certifications, but we don't disclose a lot of information about that. We're going to start disclosing more information, like how many people have filed paragraph 4 certifications, whether or not we've awarded 180-day exclusivity to any generic firms, when the last patent expires that could be a blocking patent, whether or not there's been a generic approval. This information is going to help make generic companies more competitive by allowing them to place bets on where they think the best opportunities are. The other thing we're going to do is promulgate guidance that's going to articulate when generic firms would forfeit their 180 days of exclusivity. So right now, if you're a first filer to bust a patent, to attempt to bust a branded drugs patent, you get 180 days of exclusivity on the market. That's an inducement to try to file those paragraph 4 certifications to bust branded drug company patents. But sometimes we see generic firms just sit on those 180 days of exclusivity awards and not actually try to prosecute their applications and get the drugs onto the market. So we're gonna put out guidance saying when we think generic firms forfeit that 180 days of exclusivity after about 30 months. That's what the law allows, when they would give it up, so that another firm can come in and try to prosecute the application.
That was one of the points of the piece over the weekend. The first to market kind of scares away second, third, and fourth to market, and then they just stay with the high price. Both of them stay high, and that's, well, once again, those aren't market forces.
Right. Well, what we're seeing in that regard, what we're seeing is that it's harder to be second or third to market if you're a branded drug. So, you know, if we see these drugs come to market targeting unmet medical needs, they're oftentimes breakthrough drugs that provide a lot of public health benefit. But once those drugs come to the market, we have data that demonstrates that it's taking longer for the second or the third drug in that category, in that class, to come to the market. And in many cases, we're seeing these breakthrough designated drugs, these classes, go without competition for many, many years.
Why?
And
because the one that comes out, people, that's what doctors prescribe, and it just isn't worth it to the second or third company to try to do it. They can't get their name in front of physicians or something?
Well, I think there's a whole host of reasons, but one of them is that if you're targeting an unmet medical need and there's a drug available on the market for that medical need, it's harder to run a clinical trial. You know, you can't run a placebo-controlled trial because people want active therapy.